Okay. Hey everyone, thanks for joining today's Apex Hours. My name is Jitendra Jha, and I am going to talk about how we can integrate Salesforce with ChatGPT. And I'm also going to give some background on history, what exactly is the ChatGPT and how it came, and a little bit more information about OpenAI. Now, I would like to drop all of you a comment. So, if you have any question or anything, please go ahead and post your comments on the YouTube. And Amit is going to help me to see if there is any question that I need to answer immediately, or I will answer them during the Q&A sessions. So, thanks everyone. Again, my name is Jitendra. I am a technical architect leader at IBM. I am a Salesforce CTA. 9 times MVP. Right now, I'm in Hall of Fame. I have around 32 Salesforce certifications. I have also written an Apex design pattern book. I have a course on Udemy, and you can follow me at Twitter, and you can also subscribe to my blog. So with that, uh, we are. This is the agenda for today, and we will go through a little bit about the introduction. What exactly is the Chat GPT? History of LLMs, history of a little bit about OpenAI, what exactly the little bit role that Elon Musk played initially, and then we will go with some demo source code walkthrough of how we are going to integrate Salesforce with ChatGPT, some of the use cases about ChatGPT, and we'll also talk about risk and the limitations that we have right now and conclusion. So, like I said, please go ahead and drop any comment, anything on the YouTube, and I would be watching over there. So I see some of the name. Hi, Nikhil, Arjun, Dharini. Nice to have all of you here. And with that, uh, first let's talk about history of LLM. Now we are going to integrate ChatGPT with Salesforce, and definitely I think we should spend some time really understanding where we are right now and why we are here. So can anyone drop in a comment? What do you think? What was the first time AI was introduced, and what was the first time little bit about LLM was introduced? So anyone, feel free to drop a comment. I would like to see what answer you have. So what was the first year or first decade of the LLM or the artificial intelligence? Anyone? Okay, so I will start. So 1990s. So that was the decade where statical language model were introduced, and some of the example that time was Ngram and HMM model. And really, they focus that time is mostly counting and the frequency of the specific words that a user is inputting or this language that we're processing. Fast forward 10 years later, in 2000s, LDO was introduced, and that was really the probabilistic model. And this helped classification and the clustering of the document. Now, really, the breakthrough happened kind of in 2013 when Google introduced word to vec kind of the model, and the core idea behind that was really represent word behind the scene as a vector. And this is really, I will say, the year where the evaluation of AI began. Now there are so many startup companies founded around that same time that started different experiments on AI model. And in 2018, the transformer based model was introduced, GPT was introduced by Vaswani, which removed many limitations of the previous model. Now you already know about OpenAI GPT, which is actually a transformer based model. Now, coming to this year, 2023, where we are right now, we have GPT-4 right now, and all the successors of the GPT-3. Now, if you talk about how many parameters we have, so GPT-2 had 1.5 billion parameter, GPT-3, where we all have wide access, GPT 3.5, which has 175 billion parameter, and GPT-4, I think that was launched in March, that have 100 trillion parameters. So as you can see, the whole progress, right, started a little bit. It's like I will say a spark in 1990s. Some experiments kept happening, and really the fruit we started seeing somewhere around 2018 and 2023. So I see some of the answer that was given, right? Vishwa 1970. I see some answer by 1980, 1966, and Dharni 94. I think most of you are very close, right? Really, the whole AI process and everything really started around 1990s. Okay, so the different perspective. So if you see here, let's talk about OpenAI now. We talked about LLM history. Now, OpenAI 2015 was the year when it was founded, and there are many bright people, business personalities who founded this company, like Sam Altman, who is like CEO right now, Greg Brockman, who is the president. There are many more others, including Elon Musk. Now, in 2019, GPT was introduced, transformer-based model was introduced, and OpenAI got converted from non-profit to for-profit. Okay, and then 2023, this is the year where the GPT-4 and GPT 3.5 is really taking the whole world by storm. If you are really watching the space, you might already seen that in the last, I will say, 2 to 3 months, thousands of AI company have been founded, right? And in last 1 year, you might already know about DALL-E, Midjourney, which is an image processing AI-based tool. Adobe introduced in their Photoshop tool that AI-based picture processing. So really, I will say this year 2023 is really kind of the springboard. Lot of companies have started talking about good things, bad things. Like we all know, the coin is always have a both side, right? So I will say interesting time to live, right? Interesting time to, I will say, do some quick hands-on, get yourself to know about what are the capabilities, what are not, and all the stuff which we are going to talk about this. Now, if you have seen Trailhead DX few months, I mean 1 or 2 months back, I think March only, Salesforce announced the partnership with OpenAI. And not only that, Microsoft also announced the partnership with OpenAI. So all the Microsoft suite of the products that you see, they are going to integrate OpenAI based artificial intelligence in all of their products. So that's all about OpenAI. Now, Bhakti is answering parameters. So just like any function, so let's say any function that you're writing right now, okay, or any coding that you're writing in a Salesforce, right? There are some input parameters that you have. There are some decisions that you made. The input parameter can be as a part of function. The decisions can be as a part of custom metadata, like custom object, all those fields. So there are those things which on the basis of what you decide something, right? For example, let's take a simple example. If let's say account industry is XYZ, and let's say if something like, so you have a lot of conditions there. So when you say the parameter and the data, it's not exactly the same, but little bit you can say kind of the correlate. Those are all the data points that they have, that OpenAI behind the scene in the transformer. It's like a black box magic that is making a decision on the basis of all those conditions and everything. So parameters, you can say, is kind of the data elements that is helping LLM model to decide something. Okay. So Elon Musk. The reason I have a slide on Elon Musk and not on the Sam is we know how the prominent personality he is, right? He played little bit role, right? First of all, he was the founding member along with the Sam and the Greg, who is the CEO and the president right now. Uh, However, it's not publicly available, but because of some conflict or something, he offered OpenAI that, hey, I'm going to take control, just like he took over Twitter, that, hey, I will take a control of OpenAI. However, all the other board members rejected that idea. Now, that is the reason Elon resigned from the board in 2018. Now, the question is why I have this slide. That's not something important. I think the important part here is OpenAI was for non-profit, and Elon kind of committed that he's going to support around $1 billion. However, he only supported 100 million. Now for the research and everything, they needed a fund. I think that was the reason that they converted from non-profit to the for-profit. So coming back to today's topic after 10 minutes, right? What exactly is the chat GPT, right? So I would wait few seconds. Everybody, if you can go ahead and in comment, just post what do you think the chat GPT can do. Have you tried ChatGPT yet? If you have tried ChatGPT, go ahead, uh, post it there. What exactly you did and what is your impression? ChatGPT out of 100, how much score you would you give? Have you asked ChatGPT to write a trigger? Have you asked ChatGPT to write a Lightning Web component? Was it perfect? If it is not perfect, what did you do to improve? Okay, so please go ahead, put it on the chat, and I will wait few seconds to see what are the answers you all have. Okay, so good. Questions, answers are coming up. I will see, I will review all the answer, but let me share my point of view here. Okay, so first of all, natural language understanding, right? So for an example, if you have worked on the C++, Java, right now Apex, Salesforce, see at the end, you want your software, your application to present the data in a shape or form, something like a human can understand. Account information, contact that's all English language, right? Or your in case of the multi-language, your mother language. However, that's not how we write the code. The way we write a code is you write in a classes, you have a variable, you have polymorphism, oops concepts, and all those stuff. Because computer doesn't understand English language or the human language. Computer understands bits, zeros and ones, right? So what NLP says, whatever you want computer to do, you don't need to know the programming. Okay, you write or you interact with the computer in whatever the language you know, either English, Hindi, or any other language that you know. And the best part is you ask first question, and after 5 question, GPT would be able to remember what was the first question you asked. And so basically it maintains the context. You don't need to go and speak, tell every time, hey, my name is Jitendra, I'm asking this. My name is Jitendra, I'm asking this, right? So it is, it remembers the context of the question. Uh, Definitely content generation. You want to write a blog post? Go ahead and say GPT, hey, I want to write a blog post in 2000 word, give me the content, right? So really it's like I said in the previous slide, it's taking world by storm. So many professions are being impacted for the good, I will say rather, because now all the repeated or the boring tasks that the humans were supposed to be doing, now I'm not saying it can replace 100% the content created by the writers, but definitely it will give you some kind of the boilerplate. Translation, go in the chat GPT and ask them, hey, do translate in different language, it would be able to do that. Okay, sentimental analysis, that's what we are going to see the demo. So on the basis of the content, chat GPT can feel the sentimental of that whole statement or the person who is interacting with the chat GPT. Okay, so I see some of the comment coming up. So from Nanda, Chat GPT we can be used for various purposes like answering question. Good Nanda, good. Uh, Abdullah is saying Chat GPT is not good in optimizing Apex code. 100% right. But Abdullah, have you tried Copilot? Okay, try that. And if you want, drop me a message. Copilot is not a topic for today, but I can show you like quick 2 minutes demo of how the Copilot works if you any one of you are interested. If you are interested how well the code is being written by ChatGPT. But again, Copilot is a product of Microsoft, and just I explain you in the last slide, Microsoft has partnered with OpenAI. Okay, again, I'm not sure what the Copilot is using. Is are they using OpenAI? But that is an awesome tool. Lester is saying I tried ChatGPT for Apex, but Salesforce limitation cannot be considered. I agree. Murthy, NLP with chatbot, yes, that's a very good use case. Rajesh saying it is a tool which has answers of every question but limited to not sharing opinions. Okay. Okay, awesome. So team, yeah, please keep coming up, right? I really like your comments. Somebody is saying I usually use a chat GPT to write stories for my kids. I love that. I love that use case. Content specific giving character, I like that. Yes, I have seen some news that the writers, they are writing a stories, kid stories, using chat GPT and then using midnight journey to generate an image. They combine content with midnight journey, and boom, they have a book ready for the kids. So pretty awesome, cool. Ame, creating social media posts on the chat GPT has been a blessing for me. Grammar, conciseness, yes, Ame, I agree with you. Like I said, right, chat GPT cannot replace humans, our jobs, but it's definitely gonna improve our productivity, if not by 100 times, minimum definitely by 10 times. Okay. And Arvind is saying, I tried code review and was really surprised. Yes, you would be surprised. Okay, code generation. So Arvind, yeah, just I heard you, and I'm saying yes, ChatGPT can write a code for you. Okay, but again, humans cannot agree on any topic, right? There is no way someone can agree something. How can you agree on the code generated by ChatGPT? Yes, so yes, there are going to be differences. Someone would say code quality is good. Someone would say code quality is not good, depending on their preferences. But the moral of the story, yes, ChatGPT can write a code. Okay, so we are all here for actual action, Salesforce demo. So let's see. Uh, I am, so this is my org, as you can see, and I have two demo for all of you, right? Uh, so first I'm going to show you a little bit like a chat kind of structure. So you see this lightning web component that I have, and I'm going to ask some questions. So I'm going to ask, hey, do you know what is Apex servers? Let's see what they ask. Okay. Hope it works. Okay, it worked. So let me zoom a little bit. So it says Apex Server is a free online learning platform founded by experts to provide training and knowledge sharing on the ecosystem. They offer live and the recorded webinars on various topics such as development, administration, integration, and more. Apex Servers also provides a platform. Yep, awesome, spot on, right? So let's ask another question. Do you know what Salesforce can do? Or I can say what Salesforce can do simply. Okay, let's see. Hopefully I didn't break anything. Or maybe there is a timeout. So I have not handled the timeout code yet. So let's see. I have log. Let me say who founded Salesforce. If I'm asking for the long replies, it is timing out, but I can definitely fix that. I will show you where we have to fix. But yes, short answers, it is able to do it. But let's see if I say what Salesforce can do. Maybe ChatGPT is slower, it is taking time. So maybe it's timing out. We'll see. So if I have a log open here, and if it's HTTP request is timing out, I will know. Yeah, I think it's timing out. Let's see. Yep, timeout. But again, we can improve. Right now, my timeout time is 10 seconds. I can improve it to the 2 minutes. Should work. But you got an idea. So this is one demo that I have done. I will come to the second demo as well. But see how we have done. Okay. Now code is very simple. You all can go ahead and you can see the whole code on my GitHub repository. Amit is gonna share GitHub link after this call. But let me show you the code basically. Code is very simple. I have Lightning Web Component. I have chatbot. As you can see, chatbot is really anything that is coming up a response. It's the GPT and the user. And if you see, yes, it's a user, it's a GPT. I have a different CSS. So if I go on the CSS, it says chat container should look like what? right? And the chat input should look like what, user message should look what, and bot message. Okay, so that's very simple HTML I have, and then I have simple lightning input, and then I have lightning button. The moment I click on the send button, it calls handle send message in a JavaScript of lightning web component. So if I go here and if I search, again it's a very simple. Let's check what is the message input. It constructs the message, and then it sends the message to generate response method. Now the generate response method that I have is actually Apex class chat GPT service. So this is the method which is doing all the magic. So let's go on the chat GPT service class. So in the chat GPT service class, very simple class, I have a generate response. Basically, let's say generate response. Yep. So in the generate response, I got a message. So basically, if I say what Salesforce can do, this is a message, right? Who founded Salesforce? This is a message. So as per that, uh, this method is trying to create HTTP request, and then it creates a prompt saying that, okay, what the user wants to know is, a prompt is, you are a helpful use assistant, this is my message, I want to know who founded Salesforce, and an assistant, you answer it. Okay, and then all I'm simply using is Salesforce out of the box HTTP request class. I'm using HTTP request class, and then I send the response. If the response code is 200, I am extracting the responses, and then I'm saying choices, message, right? And then I'm returning the response. Now you might be wondering, right, that okay, how do I know that there is going to be the choices element? How do I know if there is going to be the message element? How do I know if there is going to be content element? And how do I know how I'm going to read this JSON? So very simple. What I did is, you can simply go on Postman, and the Postman has out of the box OpenAI APIs and everything. You can just go here and then you can say, hey, how can I use completion? So it shows you very well that, okay, what you need to send. So I would recommend, before writing an Apex class, go play with the Postman. If you don't know the Postman, it's a tool to test API very quickly before you start working on Apex side. And then using this tool, you would be able to, so if you see there is a choice element, there's a text element, depending on, so OpenAPI supports a lot of model, lot of capability. The one that I am using, as you can see, is, let's see, I'm using the model GPT 3.5 Turbo. Now there are multiple different type of the model that you can see use, and depending on the model, the response is gonna change. So I will say again, first of all, you can see you can grab this code from my GitHub repository, right? And if you want to try by your own from the scratch, go on the Postman, and you would be able to do it here. And once you are satisfied with everything, you can start. Now, one most important thing is you need API key. Okay, this is the working API key, but again, I'm gonna disable this after my Apex Server session. But if you want to grab your own API key, you have to go to this link, platform.openai.com. You have to go on your account, API key. As you can see, I already have a 3 key. I can generate a new key here saying Apex hours, and you copy this API key and then you paste it here, and you're all good to go. Now, when sending a request, make sure your endpoint is pointing to chat completion. Okay, so I will wait here if anyone have any question here. So Abdullah is asking, is there any integration pattern being followed? Yes, right now I'm following request and reply because I'm waiting on it. So there are multiple pattern, fire and forget, request and reply, pub sub model, streaming. The one that I'm using is very traditional request and reply because I'm waiting for an answer here. If anyone have any other question, please go ahead, answer it. I think Sumit is asking, can it answer context sensitive question based on my data? Something like next best action. So Sumit, Yes, it can. However, so basically what needs to happen is you have to provide all the data, and I will show you. I have similar kind of the example here, not exactly the kind of the next best action, but really how good your prompts are. Okay, so if your prompts are very, so you are providing the data and you're writing a asking a right question, yes, it might be able to answer it. Now every time you provide the same data, there is no guarantee that answer is going to be same, right? So it will just keep improving an answer. uh, API limit would apply, Enric. So Enric, API limit is if external system is coming to Salesforce, but our example is Salesforce going outside to get. So no, API limit would not get impacted. However, open API might cost. Okay. Now I have a paid account, so that is the reason, and I can show you my billing. To be honest, like, I don't mind. So if you see my billing, it costed me $0.02, and as you can see, it's a very lightweight. Again, depending on where your region and what, there is a, if you are a first time user, I think you get to by default $80 credit or something like that for a 1 month, and but after 1 month you are being charged. Okay. So let's see what else. If anyone have any other question, please go ahead. Can the data be read only from the specific org? Or data privacy concern for Rajesh? I'm gonna come back. Yes, there is data privacy concern, and I'm gonna cover that topic very soon. Okay. So as you can see, that's all. It's very simple. It returns the response text. This response text comes to the Lightning Web component here. If I go here, where is that method? Yeah, I got a response text, and then I'm just returning the response back, and that's how the Lightning Web component is rendering all the data for me here. Okay, so that's about this demo. Let me show you another demo. Okay, anyone have any other question? Please let me know. Okay. Yes. So Bhakti is answering, why do I need to ask GPT, right? If GPT can directly answer me, why do I need to ask from Salesforce? So being a technical person, yes, you can do that, but your end users may not be the GPT expert, right? How would you explain the user, right? That, hey, go ahead, talk to the GPT, they will answer you. It's extra click. If you think about, right, end user doesn't want extra click. End user doesn't want to get outside sales. So just like old traditional way, there is a small merchandising shops, and then there is a supermarket. Everything you are getting in the supermarket, you don't want to go anywhere else. Same goes for the e-commerce experience. You don't want to go and shop around multiple things, right? No, it might be the bad example, but the thing is easiness, right? The how easy for the end user, right? So let me go you to another example that might help you to understand why we might need in Salesforce. So I have a case record. Okay, and on the case record there are some information. Now as per the new user, I see, okay, new status is new, priority is medium, and I might need to know it very quickly, right? That, okay, what is going on here? Okay, let's see. Give me 1 minute. Let's ask one question here. See if it can answer. If I go on home page and I'm gonna say, hey, in Salesforce Apex, how can I increase timeout in API request? Let's see if it can answer it. I don't know. Doesn't have. Let's see if I'm getting an error here. Okay, I will go on the developer console. Yep, I'm still getting a timeout. And let's try to increase it. So I should be able to increase request. Where is request? Yep. So let's increase it. So I will say request dot I think set timeout, and I'm gonna set timeout in millisecond. So 1000 millisecond is 1 second, and I'm going to set up 2 minutes. Let's see if it works. It got deployed. Let's ask the same question again. Let's see if it still improved something. So let's see if anyone have any other question. I'm watching comments. Can you please show the page where customer is going to interact? I'm going to show that reads. Can ChatGPT read Salesforce data? ChatGPT cannot read the Salesforce data, but you can send Salesforce data. And I have a demo for that I can show. Let's see if I'm still getting a timeout or not, because I increased it a little bit. Okay, so it seems it's success this time. It worked. As you can see here, I literally asked that how I can increase timeout in API, and you see that give me exact request.set endpoint timeout, and it gave, I use the same code. So yep, it's a live. I didn't try it, but I knew that ChatGPT is going to help me. Okay, so it worked. Whatever I just did here, ChatGPT did told me that what I can do to improve it. Okay. So what else I have? Can you actually create flows and test a flow by integrating ChatGPT with Salesforce? So Mayank, yes, Flow can call invocable Apex, and Apex can call this. And Apex would return a data. You use that data and render that data in Flow. Okay. So going back on case, like I said, I will go on demo one, and I have all the data in the demo one here, like web demo and everything. Okay, as you can see, I asked ChatGPT to summarize the data for me, and all I did to ChatGPT is key value pair. I said status is new, priority is medium, case origin is web, some. So as you can see, this LWC component is actually the ChatGPT component, and it says that from the information provided, it appears new service ticket related to demo request, medium priority, no indication of escalation or closure, and the ticket was created in November 2019 and has been modified several times. And the most recent update happened actually today, 2023. So as you can see, instead of me going through, let's say you have hundreds of field and going through each field and trying to understand, okay, what is going on here, this is able to tell me, okay, that, okay, what is the summary. Now let me try to open another case, demo number two. Again, I have a detail, right? I have similar detail and everything here, but it says it appears that client may be dissatisfied or possibly frustrated with the monthly fees and is considering switching to a competitor. So it really gave me a very good idea that, okay, client is frustrated, but how do I know that really client is frustrated? If I see all the detail here, everything looks perfect to me, but then I see the case comment. And in the case comment, it says the customer responded that if we can reduce monthly fees, they would talk. If we can't reduce monthly fees, they will talk to the competitors. As you can see, it kind of did sentimental analysis. So this is really a very good use case, right? Where you combine all the data from the different thing and then you put it to the chat GPT and let the chat GPT interpret you in the human language that what exactly going on in this case. Again, depending on the prompt, right? If you write a very specific, fantastic prompt, you will get the better result. Chat GPT or any AI model, GPT based model is all about prompt. If you had prompt engineering. Okay. So, so Ajit is saying, can you explain something about Einstein GPT? So as we know, Einstein GPT is a very new product, not a lot of content available in the market. So I really can't say a lot. But I can, towards the end of the slide, I will tell you the difference between the ChatGPT integration with Salesforce versus Einstein GPT. Uh, any other question, team? Please go ahead and put your questions there. If not, I will show you how I did this part. Okay. Yeah. So Sita is asking, what are the input details you need to provide to give a case entire field? So what I did is I have a reusable code that, again, it's, you can find on my GitHub. What it does is it grabs the ID. This ID can be account ID, case ID, whatever. The code is not hard coded. It extracts all the data and it only sends not null data. So for example, my code is not going to send account name because account name is blank. It is not going to send information about entitlement name because it's a blank, right? It will only send the information which is not a blank. Let me walk you through that code. Okay. uh, so keep coming up your question, team. I really like all the question. Please go ahead, post your questions here. Okay, and I will answer them once I show you this code. So let's walk through another code. So what I have, this is the basic code. So this code is a service class that interacts with the chat GPT. I have written another code before this, and that is this lightning web component saying GPT intelligence. Very simple, again, HTML code. All it does is it is showing, it is printing the information. Okay. And what it is really doing is, if I go on the JavaScript side, it is calling the method get non-blank field, and the get non-blank field is passing the record ID. And if I go in this class, which is a record field fetcher, it has get not blank field, it gets the record ID. On the basis of the record ID, okay, it gets the object name using Apex, using dynamic Apex, and then it gets all the field name of that object, again using dynamic Apex. If you want to see this class, this method, it gets object, it gets all the map, and then it gets all the field. If it is not calculated, or I have some excluded field, I will talk about why I have that, but it's basically get all the field name. Then what it does is it writes the dynamic SQL. Now I do have another capability that read the children child relationship. So if you go back here, this is a case object, and the case comment is the child object, child record, and the relationship name is a case comments. So what I have done is I am asking, hey, do you want to bring any child object? Just write down the names. I'm saying, yep, bring the case comment as well. So what it is doing is it is reading the child relationship. It is getting all the non-blank field of the child as well in the dynamic SQL, inner SQL basically. Then all it does is it creates key value, comma, colon, comma, colon, comma, colon, comma, and then it gives that information to the chat GPT, and it is giving something like this. This is the information about the service ticket that I have. Can you confirm how the client emotion is, and what do you make sense of this? Give a confidence answer and don't mention it's a, because every time I was giving, it will say, hey, it's difficult to determine. I said, hey, don't mention that. I don't want to hear that. And if you can't determine, just summarize what you understood. So if you see the demo number one, it just summarized. In the demo number two, it did tell me that customer is frustrated because this is, and then I gave non-filled label and the value, label value, label value, and chat gpt understands that. I don't, chat gpt does not need a content in the proper format. Just give whatever you have and it will return you the response, and that response I am printing here back. So it's fast, I know. I will take a pause. Please go ahead and write down any question that you have in the chat. So let's see. Sita, I hope I answered your question that how all the fields are getting. I'm getting all this field using dynamic apex. Again, go to my GitHub and you will find this whole source code, and you can just go and play directly, deploy it, and you should be able to play with it. Okay, can the Salesforce security system be applied to ChatGPT data from Chaya? So Chaya, this is a customization, right? It is our Apex source code that where we are deciding, okay, what you want to send. I decided that I only want to send uh, non-blank value. So if you have any security related information that you don't want ChatGPT to send, you have to design accordingly. Okay, so I know there is a one parking lot question, Einstein GPT. I'm gonna come on Einstein GPT very soon. But before that, let's get back to our slide. So Reem, I hope you understand the very quick, simple demo. I know it might look a lot of code, but it's a very simple code. Okay. Uh, so the question Sombir is asking, can we achieve the same solution with flows and HTTP callouts to ChatGPT? Yes, is the only possible. So can we achieve the same solution with flows and HTTP callouts to? I think you still, so Sombir, you still need invocable Apex if you want flow support. Can you please share the GitHub link, Sandeep? Yes. Amit is gonna, I think Amit normally does the blog post after the video. So once we are done, you can find all the information in his blog post. Okay. Okay. So summary. Let's summarize what exactly we saw. So we saw first of all, get API key from OpenAI, use Apex callout to integrate. uh, with OpenAI. We used Apex classes, and that Apex class was used in LWC. In my case, you can call the same Apex class from Flow as well. Okay. Uh, Salesforce use cases. Okay. Now, how different way we can use the Chat GPT in a Salesforce, right? Uh, Standalone chatbot, just like I had very simple Q&A kind of this, right? Uh, you can integrate with the Salesforce chat itself. You can do sentimental analysis. We just saw this demo right now. uh, you can send customer history to the chat gpt, and you can ask, hey, which product you think customer can buy. It might be able to give you good answer. But here is the thing, there is a limit at chat gpt side, that you cannot pass more than 8,000 tokens. So token, you can consider something like a word. You cannot send more than 8,000 words, right? Not exactly like that. It ignores few words, but high level you can say 8,000 word is the capacity. Uh, you can have automatic logic that converts the resolved case to the article. So basically you can have a prompt similar saying, in this case that I have, you can say, hey, this case is resolved, status is resolved, and this is all the non-blank value, this is all the case comment. Can you summarize what was, why this case was resolved, or why this case has a CSAT score of 10? And chat gpt can give you very nice article. That is another use case that you can use in your service cloud implementation if you have. Okay, so all good things, right? Like, but I, like I said in the in this presentation, everything has two faces. Coin always have two faces. We all saw positive things, right? Now let's talk about little bit limitations of the OpenAI. Before that, let me see if anyone have any question. I don't think. Okay. So first of all, ChatGPT is not a magic bullet. We all agree here. Okay. It is AI model. Okay. Um, it's trained on data. If data is good, model is good. Now it's not revealed how ChatGPT has been trained. But going forward, so imagine the situation right now. If the bloggers and the content writers start using chat gpt to write their content, after 2 3 years chat gpt would be literally reusing its own content created by chat gpt, used by chat gpt to train itself, which might be a big problem. Okay, maybe may not be, but it's a worth of thinking. Now results are stale. It's not like Google. Okay, that is searching live. Yes, there are plugins available in the ChatGPT. If you're following ChatGPT properly, OpenAI, they have released a lot of plugin who can read the real time data, who can book a flight for you, who can give the financial planning for you. Now there is a Bard AI model from Google which does gives the real time data. But coming back to the OpenAI ChatGPT, it has a data set that it has been trained only till September 2021. Let's try that. Okay. So till what time of data you have been trained? Let's see. Okay. Till what date you have been trained? Okay. Not able to. I think I need to give the right prompt, but it should be. I know it gives me that I've been trained. Okay, let's try this. Who is current CEO of Twitter? Let's try that because it's the very latest. So it will tell you now that, oh, still wrong. It should have said that as per the date XYZ, the CEO of his, because Jack was a CEO till last year, right? But not anymore. So as you can see, the data is stale. You cannot just go and blindly trust the chat GPT data. Okay. Let's see. Some questions we have. Are we not exposing the customer detail? Praveen, very good question he has raised. Are we not exposing the customer detail to the chat GPT? Okay. How to convince the stakeholders? Okay, we'll come to that. We have a lot of NLP APIs, Google, but which parameter ChatGPT to provide most accurate? Again, Maruti, I think we have to try and error depending on what works for you. But I think I do agree with Praveen that before even thinking about ChatGPT, think about the security concern here. Negative thing can be the environmental impact. Bhakti, can you a little bit explain more what do you mean by environment impact? Is it in terms of the electricity consumption, data center, and from what date? Okay. Can ChatGPT have all authentication method in place? At the moment, Sita, ChatGPT is integrating on the basis of API key. It is very easy to dispose API key. Just to give you one example, I have so many API key. Let me delete it. This. Okay. I'm removing this. I'm removing this. I'm removing this as well. You always need to have one API key. So it's all on the basis of API key. It's very easy to manage. And yes, you should not write your API key on the server side coding like JavaScript or TypeScript. Only server, not on the client side, but on the server side like Apex. Nobody can see the Apex code. Okay, let's come back here. The results are stale. We saw it right now. We asked ChatGPT CEO, and it gave the wrong answer. Uh, it may produce harmful instructions. Yes, yeah. Again, if you see the net, right? ChatGPT, there is a concept of jailbreak. People are trying to get harmful information from ChatGPT, which is otherwise not easily accessible. So, for an example, you go in the library, and the library has thousands of books. If you want to get a particular information from that library, you have to literally read each book one by one in the old days. Now, today, you can go on the Google, but again, there is no guarantee in the Google you are able to search what you are looking for. But like Chat GPT, I simply asked, hey, how to increase the API, and it gave me answer in a single response. So if I do the same thing in the Google, and if I'm doing same thing in the Chat GPT, I'm getting response in a few seconds, right? So it can be harmful. Someone is trying to get something that person supposed not to get it. It can be a big issue, right? And that is the reason if you see a lot of prominent personality in the world, like they are talking about AI ethical, talking about the community, just because of all these concerns, right? Content may be biased, right? Like I said, depending on what kind of the data it has been trained, there is no guarantee that what kind of the content GPT can produce. Okay, So coming back to the security risk. So I knew that Praveen is gonna join this call, and I knew some other security expert like somebody is gonna join this call. So I have my slide prepared. I knew I have to talk about security. So question to all of you: how many of you know about Samsung data leak? If yes, can you just quickly put in the chat? What do you know about that? Okay, Bhakti, I like. Okay, so ChatGPT needs 500 ml of water for every 20 to 50 question answer. Wow, that's amazing. Bhakti, can you please provide a link? I didn't know it, but it's definitely good to know. I would really like to have that bookmarked. Everybody, go ahead, put your comment. Any one of you know the Samsung data leak case that happened, and what do you know about it? Okay, okay. So uh, some semiconductor design was leaked. Somebody saying company secret was leaked. So what happened actually? So Samsung employees, they used ChatGPT and they provided some PII data, confidential data, some IPs data to train that ChatGPT, and that data was used, leaked by other group of people or other side of the globe. And once whatever you're providing to the ChatGPT, it is storing somewhere because it is training on itself. It has a feedback loop. So you have to be very, very, very careful that what you're providing to the ChatGPT, it may use that data to train itself and it may produce that data to somewhere else. Okay, sensitive information can be answered to someone. That exactly happened in the case of Samsung here. Okay, also it just predicts next word from the training data. Remember that word to vector 2013 that I talked about Google? If you read that carefully, it's all about the probability and the permutation combinations and all those algorithms saying that after word, what is gonna come next? Because eventually at the end, it's just algorithm. Okay. So coming back to the parking lot question, Einstein GPT. I think how Einstein GPT is different than Chat GPT is Chat GPT has a security issue, and I'm pretty sure Einstein GPT does not. So if you're using Einstein GPT on your Salesforce data, I'm pretty sure that data is safe. That data is not being exposed to the broader world of Chat GPT. Okay, so that's an answer. Again, I don't know a lot about Einstein GPT yet. Okay, uh, but yeah, once it comes right, we all will know together that what is going on there. Okay, so I think that's all team I have. This is the resources little bit. Chat.openapi, you can go. How to get API key. There is a link for the Postman OpenAI, right? Samsung leak. If you click this website, okay, let me see here. Okay, so there's this website link that you can have. Let me. Oops, everybody is asking for subscription. Okay, so you can read a little bit more upon what exactly happened with Samsung issue. Okay, and that's all team. Thank you so much everybody. I hope this session was helpful for all of you. We all learned something together. I learned definitely about the environment impact of the Chat GPT. I love that. Thanks team. uh, Follow Apex Hours. Amit, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to explain my point of view on Chat GPT. uh, Follow Apex Hours website, follow YouTube channel. Apex Hours have their LinkedIn page. If any question you have, you know my name, search me on my LinkedIn, Twitter, on my blog. You should be able to have a GitHub access after this call. But again, thanks everyone for joining this. It was a great session. And before I go, Praveen is asking one question: can ChatGPT integrate with mainframes? Answer is yes. If mainframe can call API, eventually it's API-driven code, right? So yes, if a mainframe can call API or any programming language that can call API, it can be integrated with ChatGPT. But again, always remember the security part of it. Okay. So Ajay, sorry. Amit, I am all set. Anything else we have to cover? Okay. So it seems we are all good. Again, thank you so much, team, and have a nice weekend. And see you all next time. Thank you. Bye.